Did you get a notification there?
I just said that I got it recording. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. Looking good, buddy. It's nice to see you.
You too, buddy. It's been a while. How are things?
Not too bad. Getting better, I think.
Yeah.
I've been obviously following you on social media. I see you on Facebook and see what you're doing. It's very interesting. I'm going to try not to say so much as we go here, so bear with me. I'm a little nervous.
That's why you got editing. You just edit all those out.
Exactly. If I edit it every now though, I'm going to be, I'll never get this thing out. And I wanted to just do it. I kept putting this off. I've literally been thinking about this for a year. And, just decided at one point, I'm just going to do it, see where this goes, see what happens. Maybe I do a few episodes and this goes nowhere. But
that's awesome, man.
You never know unless you try, I guess, is what we're getting at here.
Exactly. And I respect you for doing that, because I know a lot of people have ideas. I want to start this or I want to do that. And then nobody actually ever does any action, because it's scary to take action. It's scary to do this. Like, I'm probably super uncomfortable for you. Like, there's so many things that, you start doubting yourself and all these things that kind of try to tell you to stop. But the fact that you actually kind of still do it and push through is more than most people can say, because most people stop after just the idea. And the fact that you're actually doing it, I applaud you for that. So
thanks, brother. It means the world. And I have to say, like, there's been a few people that, as I've been thinking about this, a few people that I'm close to that I'll bring it up and say, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. And there's been some really nice, encouraging comments from friends. And it's nice because you're basically putting yourself out there and you're subjecting yourself to criticism and people saying, well, why is Neil doing a podcast? Well, what's Neil got to say? It's like, well, it's important to me. I just want to talk. The main focus here is just going to be speaking with people. And, I find I'm at my happiest when I'm doing things like this. I wanted a project and it's been on my mind for a long time. And I just wanted to get started. So we'll try it out. Hopefully it'll evolve into something that's listenable for anybody who takes the time to tune in, and we'll go from there. But,
for sure. And you got to start messy. I mean, it's not going to be perfect the first time, right? You're going to learn with each one. You're going to learn. And back to what you're saying is, no matter what you do, people are going to judge you and criticize you for it, no matter what you do. So
you can say, like, anybody will say, what other people think doesn't matter, but it does. At the end of the day, it's your friends, your colleagues, your family are probably going to tune into this, and I don't want to disappoint them. So I hope I can produce something that's interesting here and maybe inspire other people to kind of do the same, and just let's open up and let's talk. So
for sure, man.
Pretend that we have an audience here other than just the two of us. And like I said in our messaging earlier, I'd like to talk about how we met, because I kind of want to go from there, because I've seen you on this trajectory from when you and I first met on a forum on the internet. I don't know how long ago now. It's probably been, I don't know how long ago were you listening to Covino and Rich?
Well, I think 2011 was when I graduated university and when I really started to listen and talk on the forum and stuff. So like 12 years ago when we first started.
It's crazy. And like, what really drew me to that, I did this all while I was at work, but I work for myself now, so whatever, I can say it. I loved the forum, getting on the forum. Like, this is for those who don't know, Covino and Rich was a Sirius satellite talk show that they had an internet forum that their listeners would go on and interact, just mainly goof off and waste your time. And they would read your stuff out on the air. And it got very addictive, like, because it was fun. It was, if I could make Rich laugh or you guys laugh, that gave me a little charge. So I loved it. And when that disappeared, it kind of changed the show for me. But anyway, like, one of the things that came out of that was the Covino Rich Dude Bro Convention, which is the most
the worst name for anything ever.
The worst name. I remember the first time I went to New York to take part in one of these weird listener conventions. I was so, like, nervous to tell people why I was going to New York. And it's so funny. Like, now I'm embracing things that I like more and more. But at that time, I'm like, people are going to think I'm crazy. Like, this sounds like why would you go for a radio show just to hang out with people? And right away when I was there, you were the first person I met. We met, I think it was at the airport or at the hotel. I can't remember where.
I think it was the airport.
Exactly, but It just was as soon as I met you, and then we started talking to other people. It's like, oh, these are my people. Like they're
Mhm.
just people that want to go out and have fun and have a few laughs.
Well, yeah, looking from the outside perspective in, it's like it's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah,
Because yeah, because we'd talk on the forum, and like anytime Kavita and Rich would like read out your comment, you'd get like all giddy inside that they're reading it out, and then whatever. But that's how we kind of met first, was on that. And then the Dude Bro convention, which is, like you said, the worst name of anything ever. Um, like I wanted to go, you wanted to go. We didn't know anybody,
yeah,
and like I was going by myself. You were going by yourself. We're like, hey, do you want do you want to like just share a hotel?
yeah.
And so we did. And just like looking at it from the outside perspective, we met online. We flew to New York, never met each other before. Your name is Neil Armstrong, for one. That's like one, that's a
Yeah,
hard thing for people to look past. You're going to fly to New York to meet a guy you don't know, and his name's Neil Armstrong. It's like,
yeah,
is this guy even real? Like, you're gonna get kidnapped for sure.
yeah. And the
And
other
then
thing was, is like we'd all had these stupid handles we'd given ourselves, and I couldn't come up with anything better than N Armstrong.
Armstrong,
Yeah, so I became Armstrong to the people that were in that world.
famous Armstrong.
Yeah,
But yeah,
some
and then
people
we
still, I still keep in touch with some of the people that listen to Rich as well as yourself. Like I was actually chatting with some of them on Voxer here, and yeah, some people still say Armstrong, and it still sounds funny to me. But whatever, it's fun. I'm so glad that I did that. That's a good example in my life of getting out of my comfort zone and just
oh
doing
yeah,
something for me. And
for
then
sure.
once I did it, it was like, why was I afraid to talk about doing something like this? It was just
Mhm.
something I want to do for myself. And to this day, like, so those are some of the best memories I've had. Like playing softball in Central Park. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I went to four or five of them, and they were awesome every time. And like you said, you put so much like pressure on yourself like to start something, and like and then you look back after you do it, you're like, why was I so nervous? Like why did I put that off? Or like probably for this, like once you get this going, you're gonna be like, why did I wait a year? Like imagine how much further I'd be if I started a year ago.
yeah,
Um, but we do that with everything. Like we just get so uncomfortable and we don't want to do it. But then once we do it, we're like, why do we wait? Why were we so uncomfortable with that?
yeah. I have a habit of talking myself out of things. I'm a natural procrastinator, which is one of the things I'm trying to improve upon. I feel like actually looking at some of your videos and some of your content, I know in the fitness world that's a huge thing as well, and that's something I've struggled. I haven't been in a gym since the fall because I was not in the right headspace. I've never enjoyed going to the gym. The local gym that I go to is wonderful. The community there is wonderful. If I'm ever going to get back at it, that's the place I'll do it. But I just wasn't in the right headspace. I had a lot. I've had a lot of stuff going on in the last year, like with my work. It's been a very stressful, eating me up, sleepless nights, stuff going on that have really affected who I am, how I'm behaving with people. Like, a few weeks ago, it was like I was snapping at everybody, snapping at my wife and kids for nothing. Like I've always been an irritable person and cranky. I don't want to get any worse, and I'm
Mhm.
trying to identify these issues in myself. And one of the things I think that will help is this. It's just
Mhm.
talking to people and, you know, trying to do something positive. Have a project and have the focus of that project being positive. And
Yeah, something you feel good about, and self-awareness is huge. So you're already self-aware that this is going on and you don't like it. So you're looking for an outlet to, and this is it. So I think
yeah,
talking it out and discussing it with people is a good way to hatch it out.
yeah. And it's a good way for me to, like I've told you when we touch base through Messenger, like I see people like you. I have a few other friends that I've reached out to that are going to come on as well. And I really want to use this also to, I guess, express gratitude to people like yourself and acknowledgement. I know you don't need it from me, like again, but I think it's important that we start, cheering each other on a little more in the world, because right now I feel like everybody's picking everybody apart for things they said, or you believe this or you do that. There's too much negativity in the world right now. So I want to
Mhm.
just, I think by trying to change my mindset and do something I enjoy and talk to people that I like, I think that's a start. So I
Yeah,
don't know where it's
that's a
going to
good
go from
start because like you said, the world is so negative. Everybody is like negative. Everybody's complaining. It's just no like
there. Yeah,
um nobody focuses on, the good in the world when because there is still a lot of good and there's still a lot of positive to focus on, but everybody's just so wrapped up on, what they don't have and the negative
Yeah.
and things like that. And then that just, drags them down.
Yeah,
So,
it becomes an endless like feed loop of negativity, and you
for
just
sure.
like spiral. And that's where I honestly felt like I was going.
Mhm.
Part of my problems is that
And
I work by myself. I spend far too much time consuming information on the internet. And if
mhm,
if you go on the internet, you'd swear the apocalypse is on the horizon, right? And it's like I can't control that. I can't do anything about that. What I
yeah,
can control is my world around me, the people that I interact with, and try to be a good example for my kids.
for sure.
I by doing something, saying you're going to do something and following through with it is a big thing. And I want to be an example for my family. And so that's part of my motivation for this as well, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. Two things that you talked about there is like, you are a product of your surroundings, and not just the people that you physically hang out with, but the people that you talk to, the people that you listen to, the podcasts that you listen to. Like if you're just listening to, podcasts like that where it's just like negativity and talking about the news and all that, you're just gonna be consumed by that. But if you listen to like positive motivation and stuff like that, that's going to get inside your head and it's going to help you. And then if you're surrounded by people who are negative and complaining all the time, like what do you think you're going to be? Like you're a product of the five closest people that you surround yourself with. So
Yeah.
if you are surrounding yourself with people like that, you're probably going to become like that.
Yeah.
And
Whether
then
it's, sorry, Dad, go.
no, I was going to jump on the other thing you said about following through with something. And I had a thought the other day about like, could you imagine if you followed through on everything that you said you were going to do in your life, whether that's with, your fitness or your business aspirations or this, like every idea that you had, could you imagine where you'd be if you followed through with every single one of those things? Like you'd be exactly where you want to be. But so many people have all these ideas and no follow through whatsoever. Like, because how many times have you like heard someone say, "Oh, I was going to do that," or "I was going to start that," or "I wanted to do that." Um, like I had that same thing when I started the baseball academy here, because I have a whole bunch of baseball buddies, and we had this idea and we took it and we ran with it. And so many guys like, "Oh, I was going to do that." It's like, well, you didn't. Like you had just as much of an opportunity to start it as I did, or whatever, right? You just get so many people that just don't follow through because they have ideas but no action behind it.
Yeah. And do you find like those people that are in your baseball world, do you find, is there often encouragement or sometimes maybe a little resentment that you
I
had the
think,
courage to do it? Like,
yeah, I think a little bit of both. I like my close buddies are like super pumped on it and that, but then you get the kind of guys who are, they don't support you and and whatever. They're not like, um, yeah, they just don't support you
they're
and
not
but whatever. I
opposing
mean,
you, but there's
yeah,
probably a little like,
exactly.
what's he doing over
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got your buddies who are super happy for you and proud of you. And those are your real friends, right?
there?
And same with you. Like you probably got some people who are like, yeah, cool, whatever. And then like bashing you
Yeah.
behind your back. But
Oh,
then
I'm
those people,
sure.
but then
I'm
those
sure
people
there
aren't
are
your
people that are
friends.
like,
Yeah.
why,
But then those,
like, why is he doing it? Well, I guess
yeah.
at the end of the day, and I keep thinking about that and trying to justify it so that I can have a good answer for people.
Mhm.
I don't really have a clear answer other than it's something that I feel really
Yeah.
strongly about doing for
You
me.
want to do
I
it.
hope you come
And
along for the ride and enjoy it, I guess.
yeah, man, I'm here for it. I'm gonna listen to every time you post. I'm gonna support the hell out
Cool,
of it.
brother.
So,
Well, as my
but yeah,
first
like that.
guest, sorry.
Wow, that's an honor right there. Just to be the first person that you thought of. So,
Yeah,
um,
man. Okay, so as I told you, I wrote down a few questions because
oh,
when
perfect.
I get off on tangents. It's one of the things I'm going to work on as I develop this podcast. But when we first met at the Cavino Ridge Convention in New
No,
York,
no,
I don't
say the
the
name of
Cave
it. What
Grove
was that?
Convention. Uh, you were doing. I can't remember exactly. I think you were working in instruction, like electrical engineering or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Electrical engineering.
Are you still doing that?
No, I just quit my job beginning of this year to
Oh, really?
pursue fitness
Oh, I think
coaching.
I,
Yeah.
I think I may have seen that on Facebook that you were like, I'm going all in.
Yeah, I'm all
So
in.
since that time, you the first thing you did was Northern baseball training with your brother and I can't remember the other fellow's name.
Yeah, my cousin. Yeah.
Okay, so the three of you did Northern
Yeah.
baseball training, and
Yeah.
outside of that, you've now also started. I guess you're a fitness influencer. Is that fair to
I,
say?
I'd say coach, not
Coach, okay.
influencer.
But
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
when you're putting it online, like
Yeah.
I mean, that's everything.
Well, you are. Yeah.
Like
You're for
you are
sure.
influenced. You've influenced me by what you're doing, and I'm not
Perfect.
even one of your
Then call me what you
clients.
want. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, when you call somebody an influencer, it comes with this kind of like eye roll thing because a lot of people call themselves that. But I
Yeah.
guess really everybody is an influencer in some way.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
you might
Whether that's a
influence two
positive
people, you might
influence or a
influence
negative.
a million people, but everybody is. So whatever.
Yeah.
So you switched from that job, you did your baseball training, and now you're doing DC the coach.
Yeah. Yeah. So while I was still working at my engineering job, I started Northern baseball training with my brother and my cousin, and that's been awesome. We started that 5 years ago, and we were training, a handful. We started off training a handful of kids in an upper gym of a high school. Like that's how we started, and just like you, starting in your room, and you got to start somewhere. And we started renting a gym in a high school at 8 o'clock at night because that's all that was available. But we knew that we wanted to help people, and we knew that we wanted to help kids, so we did that. And then probably about 2 years of doing that, we got into our own facility, but it was just like a small garage. It was a 40 by 20 shop that we put a batting cage in, but it was ours. We could train whenever we wanted. So we were there for 2 years, and we just kept growing and growing. And then we just opened up our new facility like a year ago. Um, and it's got two batting cages, got a weight room. Like it's just the next level now. So
Is that also
um
where you do your videos for your
yeah, so
the
so
coach stuff?
then for my personal training, I do my all my videos there too. And then I do my YouTube videos for Northern baseball training there as well.
Okay.
So I started, just like you starting this, I started a YouTube channel for that in 2020 when COVID hit. So COVID shut us down, just like it shut down a lot of people. And so we couldn't train our kids anymore. So I just started the YouTube channel because I wanted to give our kids, hey, do these drills at home, give them something to work on while they're locked down in their house. And then that just kind of grew into like just something bigger. And now,
I love that. I love
yeah.
that. I like organic, something that just
Mhm.
happens and happens in a good
Yeah,
way.
definitely wasn't in the plan to be a YouTube guy. And like if you knew, like I was the last guy that would put myself in front of a camera on purpose. Like that wasn't me. Like
Yeah.
when we started Northern baseball training and the news crews would come, I'd stay away from the camera. I'd be like, no, I don't want to be on the camera. I don't want to talk. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then starting the YouTube channel, like I was super, super uncomfortable. But I just did it, and I got a little bit better with each time. And now I literally put myself on camera all day, every day. And it's literally my job now.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
how I
so
make my
cool.
money. And it
You're
just
you're building
grows.
your own future. And
Yeah. And like when you start something like that, like the YouTube channel, or you're starting this podcast, like you're not going to be very good at it when you start. Just like anything you do in life, you're not good at it when you start. You're super uncomfortable. You're just going to learn as you go, and you're going to get better and better.
yeah.
Like right now, you're doing a good job, but then when you look back in a year at your first episode, you're going to be like, oh man, like this could have been better, and this could have been better, and but you've elevated with each time and gotten better and better and better.
Yeah.
Like looking back at like the first YouTube videos, I was like, oh, that was pretty good. The first couple of videos, and then I look at my videos now and I look at them then, I'm like, oh,
Oh
like
yeah.
it's
Like you
cringeworthy, right?
the
So
stuff that
like,
you're putting out looks high quality. And I think it's just you doing it, isn't it? You're filming and
yeah, I do
editing.
everything. I film it, I edit it, I record it, I do everything. And it's just like learning as you go. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how to record videos, had no idea how to edit videos. Like I had no idea about lighting and audio. Like I knew nothing. I just
Yeah.
kind of taught myself as I went. And literally now it's my job. So um like I said, you gotta suck at something before you're good at it. Like anything you're good at now, you were bad at it at one point. Like
Yeah.
whatever, like whoever's listening to this, whatever your job is now, if you think you're good at it, think back to your first day. You're probably so nervous, like you didn't know what to do, you're uncomfortable, but then the more you did it, the better you got at it. And that just goes with anybody, following a dream or whatever. It's you're gonna
Yeah.
suck at it, you're gonna fall,
It's
you're gonna fail.
extremely it's extremely important to get out of your comfort zone and
Oh yeah.
to face those things that give you a little bit of anxiety. Like just this morning, I was sitting here trying to record an intro about why I want you on the show because I'll do a little thing at the beginning of each kind of why I'm interviewing this person.
Yeah.
I had 3 tries. I'm like, this is not. I don't know if I can do this. Like just talking by myself to myself. I'm sitting there saying long pauses, and you're just this. It's funny. I talk to myself all the time without a mic, I'm like in my car at home. I'm by myself and my thoughts are out loud all the time. But the second I put a mic in front of myself, it's like a different, I don't know, the intention
It's hard.
changes everything and makes you suddenly super aware. And you're like, I'm gonna be putting this out there and people might like it, but there are probably gonna be some people that don't either. So I've just gotta
Yeah,
take
let's go
take the
for it.
leap and do it.
I know
Uh,
when I first started doing the YouTube videos, like I would practice it. I'd be like, oh, I'm dialed in and I'm talking baseball. So I know what I'm talking about. Like I'm confident in what I'm saying. And then I'd literally hit record right when the red light was on. I would forget everything that I had to say. And it would just literally, and it's like I'm in a room by myself. Why am I so nervous? Like,
yeah, like I was literally shaking like a leaf with nobody listening. It's like, I
yeah,
guess it's the anticipation for what's to
yeah,
come. Like putting yourself out
yeah.
there is putting yourself out there for
I
judgment,
think,
Google.
yeah, living like living outside your going outside your comfort zone, that's where real growth is. Like you're not going to
Yeah.
grow being comfortable no matter what it is, whether it's your business or whatever. You're going to, if you're sitting inside your comfort zone, you're going to be stuck there. But if you step outside your comfort zone, get a little bit uncomfortable, you're going to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where it comes from. And um, I don't want to go off on a tangent about one of the problems in the world today and how so many
Hey
people are
man, it's
just
your show. It's your show.
well,
Talk
people
about
are
whatever you
like,
want.
okay, let's go off on this tangent then. Let's see what happens when I do this. Like my wife works in a middle school, and like a lot of the things that she tells me, like the issues, I'm not going to name names or anything like this. I don't want to, but a lot of the issues that they deal with are like kids that they don't ever get pushed to go outside their comfort zone. They're coddled a little bit, like the helicopter parenting thing, and this kid can do no wrong. And then they, in a social environment with other kids, they act like sociopaths. And when you confront them about it, nobody's shit. I'm drawing a brain fart here. Nobody's like holding themselves or their kids accountable. It's always somebody else. Like
Mhm.
parents are always like, "Oh, you're just picking on my kid. He's a nice boy," or like we're doing ourselves a disservice by not facing things that are difficult to face, including how we're raising our children. And
Mhm.
like, so for me as a dad, being a dad is one of the most important things. It is the most important job I have. Like at the end of this life, I'm leaving it. So what am I leaving behind? Am I going to leave behind two people who are capable and strong and happy? That's the goal. Excuse me.
Mhm.
That's the goal for me. So um, I'm trying to do this. I guess another reason I'm doing this is an example. Like I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm doing this because if I'm going to tell my kids that, if I think it's good for you to do this, well, I should be willing to do it myself. I guess what I'm getting at is I'm trying to be an example for my kids by getting out of my comfort zone. And anybody
Well,
else who wants to listen, I strongly encourage it.
that's awesome. And I think that's huge because, kids are going to do what you do and not what you say. So
Yeah.
if you're like, hey, little Timmy, you can do anything you want to be. You can, dream big, you can accomplish your goals, do whatever you want. But then you're just, stuck working a job you hate and you know, your kids are just going to see right through you.
Yeah. And
So, setting a good example, like it doesn't mean you have to do anything like huge, but you're doing something that you love and you're doing the show and, you're stepping outside your comfort zone, doing something that you want to do. And, your kids are going to see that. So they might not, realize it right now, but they're going to see that eventually. And they're going to remember that, the
yeah,
kind of, the kind of person that you were.
when I'm gone, whenever that is, this
Yeah,
will be left behind. It's something, it's like a chronicle of hopefully somebody starting at this point and ending up here. Hopefully it's wherever that goes is good. So um,
for sure.
yeah. So the next thing I wanted to ask you about, and I did check this with you before, was about like I know that your mother passed away, and like I feel like that was one of the things that was also a trigger for you to go down the fitness road to help people. And I'm really interested in talking about that.
Yeah. So I got my personal training certificate just because I wanted to help players, help athletes in my baseball training academy. I wanted to get my personal training certificate so I could train them. That was the goal when I got it. And then right when I got it, my mom passed away in December of last year. Um, so obviously that was very, very hard for me and my family. And, it broke me. And then that kind of triggered something in me that, I stopped deciding to want to, help athletes and I focused my training towards helping busy moms like her who struggle with their weight and want to lose weight, not just for themselves but for their kids. And because if you're not taking care of your health, eventually it's going to catch up to you. um, and and it happens. And I think a lot of like busy moms are so focused on their kids and providing a good life for their kids, which is good, but they put their own health and what they need on the back burner. And then that, eventually it's going to catch up to you. And I just want to help, busy moms like her who struggle with that, because I watched my mom struggle with her weight for her whole life, and she tried everything and, nothing worked. But so I'm trying to be the person that she needed. If she had somebody like me come into her life when, I was a kid and she was trying to lose weight, um, it could literally save her life and she could be here today still.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be that person, because health is important, and it's, a lot of people take it lightly until it's too late. And then it catches up to you. And then, you're 20 years or 30 years of bad habits all of a sudden catch up to you, and trying to fix it in a couple of weeks is not going to do the trick. You got to like attack it now while you still can and get ahead of it. And then you can live a long, healthy lifestyle for your kids and for your grandkids.
Yeah. On that note, I definitely have to get back to the gym.
We'll talk after this. I'll help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Actually,
literally my
I
job.
did. I'm not using this to get some free coaching from you. I mean, I do love picking your brain on this, and I'm curious about how it works. Like, because you put a lot of your results online, but are you mostly coaching in person, or are you doing programs for people remotely? Like if somebody here in Nova Scotia hears my podcast and wants to reach out to Doug, how does that
It's
look?
all it's all online. Everything I do is online. So a lot of my clients are here from Prince George, but I've had clients from like Dallas and like all over the States and everywhere reach out. So it's all done online. So basically how it works is I have like an app. So all the workouts are inside of an app. I give you a nutrition plan, I give you a workout plan, I give you like support, accountability, weekly check-ins. So everything's there. I'm basically there just to make sure that you see results. So yeah, I give you the workout plan, I give you the nutrition plan, and then support and accountability. So accountability is what most people need,
Yeah.
because you can find a workout plan online, you can find a nutrition plan online for free. But if that's the case, if it's for free, why isn't everybody in the shape that they want to be in? Because they don't have the support and the accountability, which is what the biggest part of my job is, to make sure that you do see results. So, I'm there for support. I do weekly check-ins. So I'll send them a check-in form. They'll fill it out. With the app, I can see everything that they do. I can see if they've done their workouts. I can see what what they're eating. I can see everything. So at the end of
Like
every
Big
week, I'll
Brother.
be like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. If they track everything that they're doing, then I can see everything that they're doing. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so I'll be like, I'll send them a check-in form. And then at the end of every week, I'll go over their week, I'll go over their check-in form and just talk about it. So I'll send them a video kind of like this, being like, hey, good week, this needs to change, do this, this was good, and just kind of celebrate the wins that they had for the week, tell them what they need to do differently to make sure that they see results. And basically the accountability is what keeps people going and what gives people results. Because I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you're guilty of it. I'm sure people listening to this are guilty of it. But starting a program and quitting after 3 weeks,
Oh my
a lot of
God.
people do it.
Oh
Like
yeah. We
everybody
exist
that
in. Go. Sorry.
everybody that I coach right now, and everybody that I talk to at some point has bought a 12-week package program online. And you do it for 2 weeks and you quit. It
Yeah.
happens to everybody. Most people do it, but I'm basically there to make sure that you stay on track and stay in there long enough to see results, because most people quit too soon. And
Yeah, and a lot of it, I would imagine, knowing myself, it comes down to self-discipline too. You can only draw so much from a guy like you. Like,
mm,
and this is a problem that's always been a problem for me when I'm talking fitness or working out. Is like I said earlier, I don't like working out. I've never enjoyed that. But when I do it, it has to be something personally for me. But the second, like my wife is like, "Hey, you haven't been to the gym in a couple of days." I'm like, well, then I don't know. It's like the second somebody pushes me, I actually have the opposite result. Like,
mhm.
so when you say like somebody holding you accountable, I feel like if you and I were to have this program where you were coaching me, just because I'm stubborn and a pain, I'd be like, I don't think I would react well to somebody pushing me. Like, do you
Well,
encounter people like that in your
yeah,
world? Or are they all pretty
I've
well like, yeah, Doug told me I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it?
yeah, it's just like anything. It's up to you to get to do the work. I can only do so much for you. So like I'll give you the framework and literally the blueprint. If you do these things, you will see results. You will get the body that you want if you follow this thing. So I'm basically there just to make sure that you do the workouts that I give you, that you eat what I the nutrition plan that I give you, follow that, and then make sure that you stick to it. Because, most people want results right away, and they do it for a week and they don't see the results, so they quit. Right. And results take time, because like most people took them, 20 years to get the body that they have. And then they go to the gym for 2 weeks and they're upset that they don't have the body that they want.
Yeah.
It's like, how many years of bad habits did it take you to get you to where you are now? It's not going to fix in, a couple of weeks or a couple of months. You have to stay consistent to these healthy habits, just like you were very inconsistent with the healthy habits and consistent with your unhealthy habits.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like I've had clients who, usually they pay me monthly. I've had a client sign up for 3 months, do the workouts for a week, and not even talk to me for 3 months. And I would message them. I'd call, like try to get a hold of them, because it's like my job, and they would just ghost me for 3 months, and then program ended and I never heard from them again. So there are people who like that, but for the most part, like, I'm there to help you how you need to be helped.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to be a drill sergeant if that's not what you need to get you the results. Some people require a little bit, of a softer approach.
Mhm.
Some people, you can be like, hey, you missed your workout, get it done. Whereas some people be like, hey, what's going on? Talk to me. Like, why did you skip your workout? Oh, well, I'm going through this. And then I'll talk them off the ledge. Cause I've had clients who have lost like 30 pounds, where those clients have called me a week after when the program started. I can't do this. This isn't for me. I'm like, well, give it a chance, and, whatever. And then now they're my best clients, like lost 30, 40 pounds. Right. So a lot of people need to get past that initial, self-limiting belief that they can't do this. Cause it's all mindset. Like, it's so much of it is your mindset and how you approach things. And,
I'm
and
sure it has
that's,
to become a habit, and to build new habits. I don't know what the general rule is, but I think it's like 30 or 60 days. Like, you have
yeah.
to
So that
keep going.
they say like a habit is created in 21 days, but a lifestyle is created in 90. That's
Mhm.
kind of what they say. So,
Yeah.
the problem with people is they do their healthy habits for 5 days, and then Friday comes, and then they throw everything out the window. Now they got to
Like pizza.
restart. And yeah, then they got to restart. But the thing is, you can eat pizza. You could, like, people are, the diet culture is so, carbs are bad, pizza's bad, you can't eat cookies. My clients are eating pizza, they're eating cookies, they're eating their favorite food still. You just have to create a good, healthy balance of, foods that you love and healthy foods. Like, I like to get them to live by the 80-20 rule: 80% healthy, nutritious foods, and 20% whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas a lot of people go all in or all out, where it's like 100%, chicken and rice, and that's it. That's all I'm going to eat. And
That
then
doesn't
you can
seem
only do that.
sustainable either, unless
It's
you're a
not.
complete psychopath. And
It's not
like
sustainable for,
some people actually seem to function that way. But
yeah.
there's
They're
such a
like,
broad range of characteristics that people have that must be kind of difficult. Like, you had said that you use an app with people.
yeah.
Like, is this app something you developed, or is it like a fitness app that's general?
It's yeah, it's an app that a lot of coaches use. Mine is currently being customized, so it will become like my personalized version of this app, where it's like
Okay.
my logo, my app, or whatever. But yeah. But yeah, back to what you're saying, where with what were you saying?
I was just saying how, like, with different personality traits and how people react
Oh
differently
yeah.
to things, like, you've got to adjust your coaching style, or do you just like
Yeah,
use
like,
one style and hopefully that works for as many people as possible?
yeah, like, everything that I do is custom to each person. Everybody's different. Everybody needs to eat different food, like different, amount of foods. Some workout that's going to work for you might not work for somebody else, right? So it's all kind of custom to each person. And like, back to the nutrition is what I was going to say. Most people live like 100% all in, chicken, rice, and broccoli, where that's not sustainable, like you said. And the best diet is a sustainable one. And people will do keto or paleo or whatever that is. um, every diet works, but is it going to work for you? Because if you can do keto forever, then do keto forever. But most people can't do keto forever. Most people will do keto for a couple months, lose a bunch of weight. That was cool. Now I'm going to go back to eating food again, then they gain it all back.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn a sustainable diet where that allows you to still eat pizza, still eat cookies, and lose weight, then you're most likely gonna sustain that. But if you
Right.
cut out pizza, you cut out cookies, you cut out all your favorite foods, you go all in for 2 months, okay, now I'm going to eat pizza again, you're probably going to binge and you're probably going to lose all the progress that you made. But if you allow yourself to eat those foods throughout your program and just throughout your life, because I'm never going to give up pizza and I don't expect my clients to either, then you can lose that weight and keep it off forever. But
This
most
type
people
of
do. Yeah.
sorry, this type of mentality I feel like could be applied not just to your fitness or your diet. This is kind of like saying like be conscientious about everything you're doing, how
Yeah.
you're living your life, because whatever decision
Moderation.
you're making or whatever you're doing, there's going to be a positive or negative effect of that. Whether it's
Mhm.
the food you're eating, the sleep you're getting, the people you're hanging out with, everything comes with some sort of repercussion, cost, or benefit. So you've got to.
For-
I feel like that's been one of my issues in the past couple of years. Is I'm just kind of numbly going through life. I'm doing my job, which is still a good job. I like working for myself, but it's not. It's not satisfying uh, spiritually, if you will.
Yeah.
It's just something that I have to pay the bills and take care of my family.
Mhm.
But I'm looking for something more, and I'm just this is I guess this is step one for me is doing something like this and hoping it leads into something else. Like I'm hoping if I can get my mind right, then I'll start taking on other endeavors and maybe find myself back in a gym someday.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, like I said, mindset is so important with everything. Um, and, I think it's important to, you know, find a job that you love to do.
Yeah,
Um, for that's kind of where I'm at. Like my old engineering job, I loved it. Like it was a good job, really good boss, really good company that I worked for. But then once I started, online coaching, that like that was like really, really passionate for me. Like I feel really strongly about it. And,
hmm,
while I was there, all I could think about was, my clients and how I can help more people and this and that. So, um, the only real option there was to go all in on it.
hmm,
And, it, and when I started doing online coaching, I literally just started it to, just to help people and, make a little bit of money on the side. And then once I started, it just kind of grew into something, way bigger where I can do it full time.
yeah.
And the ceiling is just, I literally want to help every single mom in the world. That's like my goal is I
I
want
love
to,
it. I love it.
and
I love that you're not afraid to say that because I find like
no,
I'm
not at all.
hoping that this will mean something to somebody. I don't know how many people, maybe it's only a handful of people, but I think we
If
change the world by being open and honest and not being afraid to express those types of goals for ourselves and the people around us.
Yeah,
So
100%. If you put this out there and one person gets any kind of value whatsoever from it, whether it's something you said or something I said, then it's a success. Like one person,
that's
that's all you need. You just
yeah,
got to change. Like I have it written down. Change one person's life today. That's all you got to think about doing. And if that means one person, watches one of my videos and that clicks in something to them, whether they hire me as a coach or not, if they watch one of my videos and it impacts them somehow in a positive way, then it's worth it. Whether didn't make a single dollar off it, I don't do it for that. I do it to legitimately help people, and that's why
yeah,
I do it.
yeah. That's becoming my motivation more and more. And most of my actions is not about money.
No,
I mean, the way the world's going, you need more and more of it, which is a sad truth. But
yeah,
I think
you
it's
need
far more
money, but
important. I think it's far more important and satisfying to try to find something that's meaningful for you.
yeah,
And for me and for you and for hopefully more people, it will be getting more involved with your community, however that might be, maybe
mhm.
volunteering or, or just something as simple as just being good to a person, being nice to each other again. Like
It
these
goes such a
people are
long
super
way.
important to me.
Yeah,
And I
that
try
goes such a
to,
long way.
what's that?
I said that goes such a long way, just
It
being
does.
kind to
Like you
people.
never know what you say or do, how it's going to affect somebody's day, or and then maybe cascade from them to somebody else. Like it sounds silly, but I really I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, and the more I think about it, the more I believe that we're all going through this together. Maybe we don't know each other well, but we're all going through it together, and we're all connected in some way. So try to make of that what you will, but basically just be a decent person and try to be helpful. I think at the end of the day, you'll when it's all said and done, you'll feel a lot more satisfied if you knew that you didn't live a selfish life or you made a difference for somebody or several people or whatever. Just
For sure.
that's the
And
point for me.
such like just small gestures, like holding the door open for somebody, or just like a little smile, like that could make somebody's day. That somebody could have a bad day, and you just being kind to them
Yeah.
could like help lift their spirits. Whether it's just something small that you did, like So you just got to be kind to everybody. You don't know what people are going through. Like,
Yeah.
even if somebody is being like a dick, like you don't know what they're going through. You don't
Yeah.
know
I try to,
what,
my
you don't
first
know what
instinct,
happened that morning or,
yeah, my first instinct, somebody's rude or a dick to me is like, I get angry, but I
yeah,
do find more and more I'm trying to go, maybe that's just them at that, in that 5 minutes, maybe something
yeah.
happened to them. And honestly, that's again, makes me reflect a lot about with my kids. Like I want them to be more like that. Like the
Mhm.
person that's mean to you in the school or says something to you, like it doesn't mean it's cool or okay that they said it, but if you at least can understand where it's coming from, that old expression, hurt people, makes it a
Mhm.
little easier to go, he's just having a bad day.
Yeah.
Don't take this personally.
And there are a lot of bad people out there who are just not nice people. And, obviously those are the exceptions, but, there's a lot of good people that you just caught on a bad day. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
those
And I
people
wonder
deserve
like
it.
those bad people, they're just maybe they're in one of those loops that I was talking about earlier where it's like everything just feels bad and dark. And what's the point of
Oh
being a
yeah.
nice guy? Like when you hear those people that say stupid things like nice guys finish last, that really bothers me. It's like, because that's saying like, why be nice? Like
Mhm.
there's nothing in it for you. Well, frankly, there shouldn't be anything in it for you other than it's for you. You being nice to
Yeah.
somebody else is actually beneficial for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And back to what you just said about some people, they're just in like a different, season of their life where things just aren't going their way. And, a lot of people get caught up in the wrong crowd that take them down a dark path that, event, like, unfortunately they never get out of that path.
Yeah.
But like for myself, like I was not a good guy. Like I had a drinking problem. I was, if you would have caught me back then, like I was a douchebag, like straight up. Um, but
I
then you
wanted to
look at me
ask you
now.
about that because I know that you went sober. Like when I
Yeah.
first met you in our few parties in New York, I would never have said to myself, "Oh, Doug's got a problem with alcohol." Like it never.
Yeah.
You were like it's a social setting. I think you got me a little too drunk that first night. I remember
When you
almost
puked
puking your
outside the cab.
suitcase. Went a little too far that first night, but
Yeah.
whatever. Like I never would have thought that that was an issue for you. So
Yeah.
when did
And
you
I
when did
think,
you I guess realize that, and why did you make that change?
yeah, I mean, like I did what everybody does and, college, and you start drinking and whatever. But then I think I just never really grew out of that. And, um, drinking and partying every weekend. And then just during the week, I would just grab a case of beer and I just drink it. And I didn't think it was a problem at the time. I was like, oh, this is normal because it was, normal with the people that I hung around with. That's why I thought it was normal, because it was normal around me, and I didn't see it as a problem. But yeah, I would drink every weekend. I would drink during the day. I'd drink, during the week, and it just kind of became, you know, just an issue. And it was,
Was it?
eh,
Can I ask you? Was it something you saw yourself, or did somebody did something? Was there an incident, or did you like?
no, it's just like a collection of me just being an idiot and not a good dude. And, just over time, just, you know, you you wake up one day and you're like just kind of disgusted with, the choices that you've made. And yeah, and I just made a decision just to quit. And, my wife is a big helper in that, just because she doesn't drink, and she's just
Mhm.
like, she's nothing like me, and she was nothing like I was like a huge partier, drank all the time, and she wasn't like that at all. And, being with her just really kind of changed my perspective on what I was actually doing.
Yeah,
Because like I said, you're a product of the people that you surround yourself with. And if I'm only hanging out with people who drink all day every day and make bad choices and screw up and continue to do the same thing over and over again, I'm going to do the same thing. And that's what I was. So I made the decision to quit, is because I, talked about self-awareness before. I was very self-aware that I was making a lot of stupid decisions. So I quit, and then I just, that was almost 4 years ago now. And I don't, I
don't
don't
miss it at
even,
all. So
don't
for
miss it at
you,
all because,
it doesn't sound like you were an alcoholic. Like you weren't a person who needed it. Is that
see,
fair?
well, that's where I would say you're wrong, because like I think a
Okay,
lot of people are afraid to just to say that, because that word is,
the stigma.
alcoholic, whatever, right?
Yeah,
Because you think of like a stereotypical alcoholic. What are they? They're drinking out of a paper bag, they're falling down the street, they're home, like that's
yeah,
an alcoholic. But I was drinking all day, every day. I was like, I just, because what I look like on the outside, I had a good job, I had a family, whatever. I looked like a normal dude. So you'd think that, oh, this guy doesn't have a problem. He just likes to drink beers with the boys. Not a big deal.
Mhm.
But it was like, because I was drinking every day, and it was affecting my physical health, it was affecting my mental health, it was affecting my relationships. I was just not, where I wanted to be. So yeah, I'll own that for sure, because, if you look at who I was then, and what I'm doing now, completely different. Um, so yeah,
I think it's I think it's very admirable. And you and I don't talk all the time. I don't know if I'll ever see you in person again because I don't see us going to New York for another convention.
we'll go somewhere else. We'll make our own dude
But
bro convention.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I'm so happy to see where you're at in your life and where you're going, and I can't wait to kind of follow your path as you get there because I really, it's a weird thing to say you're proud of somebody. Like I have no reason to be proud of you because I feel like that's a contributing, but I'm proud of you. I think what you're doing is the right thing, and I think that's kind of why I want to do this, is just to spread that around, and start
I
like
appreciate that, and I'm honestly proud of you for doing this, because I know how hard it is to step outside your comfort zone and start something like this.
I'm having fun.
Um, yeah, me too,
I can
man. Like
tell you,
honestly, like
I'm
this is
already having
this
fun.
is what makes it, just talking about life. And I'm sure that's all you really want to do, is just chat
Yeah,
about, what's going on in life, and, talk to people, and, talk about what's going on with you and what's going on with them. And, different perspectives, I think, are what's really going to make, your show awesome, because you talk to different people who have gone through different experiences, done different things, and their perspective might be a little bit different than the next guy's perspective. And that's what's going to, make you change your perspective sometimes. Right.
yeah, and I'm all
Um,
for it. That's what growing up is. I shouldn't be the same person I was 5 years ago, and I
no,
shouldn't
and
5 years from now. I should be a different person again. I
100
hope.
100%. If you look back at, like, a lot of the people that you hang out with, it's like they're doing the exact same thing they did 5 years ago. There's no growth whatsoever. They might make a little bit more money because, that's just what happens when you work a job for so long, you make more money, but, their habits are still the same. They're still making the same stupid choices, and the same everything is, there's no growth there.
Yeah,
And I think you should always be trying to be a better person, and, um, not necessarily like make more money, but like make more of an impact, like
yeah.
impact
That's
more people.
I agree
And
100%. Like
and
yes, the money,
I
like you
have
said
that written
earlier.
right here, like on my thing. It says impact over income, because a lot of people, um, think the other way around. They chase money.
Yeah, they
And,
think
when
that's
you
what success is.
yeah, when you chase money, you're not going to get money, because, money's not going to drive you to do the things that need to get done in order to become successful. But if you chase, impact, and actually try to help people, that's going to drive you. And then with that, comes everything else.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about just being passionate about something, because I find when I listen to a lot of podcasts when it could be somebody talking about a subject that I'm not even interested in, but they're really into it, and I find it
Mhm.
fascinating to hear that. And I that's kind of what I see this going. It's just good conversation. I feel good when I'm having good conversations. I want to change my perspective on things and learn new things. Yeah, so we'll see where this goes. I'm very very excited here. I'm just gonna have. I
Yeah.
see we're actually getting close to an hour. I don't know. Are you good for time?
Good, man.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, let's talk about. I do have the notes here. You've become a dad since we last hung out.
I have.
I
Yeah,
see your little guy there. So talk about that. I love talking about family
man.
stuff and being a dad. So let's get into that.
I uh I know everybody says the same thing, like, but like it's the best thing ever. Like it literally is the best thing ever. And, people always say, oh, they grow up so fast, and, this and that. And you're like, yeah, yeah. But then once you're witnessing it live, it's like, it's insane. Like it feels like, the next day they're doing something different or whatever. Like he just started walking like 2 weeks ago, and now he's just, like, he took his first steps, like real steps, like a couple weeks ago. Now he's just walking everywhere. Like it just happens like so fast. And, it's just crazy to see, like, them grow. And it's just crazy. Like,
Your
yeah,
son's is he 2? Is he around 2 or how old
no,
is he?
he's 14 months, almost
14
15
months.
months.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
found like my daughter's 15 and my son is 13 and a half. And like I can't believe like we're already talking about after school. And
It's
like for my
crazy.
daughter, she's graduating in a couple of years, and it's like I'm trying to think about what life will be like at that time, because it really does. It feels like the older I get, the faster time goes.
Mhm.
You get caught up in projects, and your kids like they go. they go from like being you're everything to them to like you're just like their drive, or take them
Hmm.
around to hang out with her. Thankfully, I haven't gotten there with my friend. I have a
Yeah,
really good relationship with both my kids, and I'm so
good.
thankful for that. Like my daughter, I say this, she's like my soulmate. The conversations that we have, I feel so lucky because she probably a little too much sometimes, but she is very, very open with me, and I encourage parents to try to have that relationship if at all possible with your kids.
Hmm.
And I think the best way to do that is to just be honest with them. Like
For sure. I
being a
think
parent, being a parent is probably the thing that's uh, it's made me the single biggest influence, made me a better person. I guess, like because it should make you reflect on yourself and your example, and like you're an example for them. So what type of example are you going to be? Like at the end of the day, that's everything. Is what you're leaving
yeah,
behind. You've got kids, and hopefully
and
they'll.
that's what I mentioned before about, your kids are going to do what you do and not what you say. So, you gotta lead by example, and you gotta, be a good person. And, if you tell your kids to eat their vegetables, but you're not eating your vegetables, they're probably not
Yeah,
going to eat their vegetables,
yeah,
So it's the same thing with every aspect of your life. You're like, hey, don't be a bully, but you're a bully, or don't be a negative person and don't complain about things, but then you're that person, then
yeah,
what do you think they're going to be? Right.
yeah.
So that's like huge, and leading by example. That's what I'm like really big on. And with everything that I'm doing, it's like you want to be a good example for your kids, and you want them
You
to, you don't want your kids to, you're not trying to make them become you. You just
no,
want to, like, lead the path and show them what it's like to be a good person, because I know my kid's not going to be me. He's going to have his own experiences. He's
he's
going to
way
have
more
his own,
handsome.
way more handsome. He's got blonde hair, blue eyes, which is nothing like me, but like he's going to have his own experiences, his own mistakes. He's going to, but just as long as I teach him to, he's going to make mistakes, just like we all make mistakes. I know every single person in this world has done stuff, they're not proud of,
Mhm.
but the big thing is that you learn from those mistakes, and
Yeah,
you grow from them. So I'm just going to, teach him to do that. You're going to make mistakes, but just take with each mistake, there's a lesson in it.
yeah. And on that note, like that's a good part of being an example is letting your kid know the reason I'm saying this, or the reason I did that. I made these mistakes. I think it's important to let your kids know that it's okay to make mistakes. First off,
Yeah.
as long as you're learning from them, like that's everything. Like that's so if you come in and you're the parent that's like, just do as I say, not as I do, and I always got it right. I never did this. I think you're doing your kid a disservice because first off, most of them are smarter than us. They're so bright and they absorb information. Like they can smell your bullshit. So you might as
Oh yeah,
well,
they can see right through it.
yeah. And if you're lucky, if you get a bright kid, then it's such a satisfying experience to see them grow and become their own people, and acknowledge mistakes, and when they apologize, it's a sincere apology instead of being like
Yeah.
you know forced apologies. Like they're just they're very I'm very proud of both of them to for what the way that they are with people. They're not selfish people, and I hope they
Well,
just
that
continue
that
in that path.
that just comes from, you being a good parent and setting a good example for them, right? Um, like I said before, like kids aren't going to become you, but as long as you just teach them, good core values, then they're going to be their own version of themselves, but,
Yeah,
learning
I,
learning the right way.
I think if the goal should be for everybody who has kids, make them better than you if possible. Give them the tools
Yeah,
to become better than you,
for
because
sure. Yeah.
really they should benefit from your failures and your wisdom, and take the
100%.
ball and go from there. And hopefully, there's no such thing as immortality, but
No.
that's how you live on through your kids, is by being an influence that they'll always remember. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
hoping that this might be something like that as well. That's another little insight into my motivation.
for
Um,
sure. Yeah.
we're almost at an hour, and I did want to keep this around an hour. So I just want to ask you one more thing. Like, where do you see yourself in the future with your business? Like, do you have any big plans on the horizon, or is it just to continue with like the trajectory you're on, or anything coming up
Yeah.
for?
Like I think with yeah, with northern baseball training, it's going to continue to grow that, and we got some big plans with that. And then with that, social media and YouTube could just continue to produce content with that, and just continue to grow. I think that Instagram is up to 50,000 followers, I think, which is, it doesn't mean anything, but it does mean
It's
that there's
cool. It's
like
cool. That's
the biggest perk about that is I get a lot of companies sending us free stuff, which is awesome. So
Oh yeah,
that's literally
that
all I
is
like.
cool. Like
Yeah, I don't like, I
social
don't
media
not,
is not without its flaws, but there's a lot of cool stuff
yeah, like
associated with social media as well. And I'm
I'll have
gonna
like
have to use it.
companies, yeah, I'll have companies reach out like, hey, can you make a video on this product? I'm like, yeah, sure, send it to me. And then they'll send me free stuff. So I'm like,
So what happens if they send you something and it sucks? Have you had that
like
happen?
I will,
You don't
like
have to name the product.
I won't, if it like if they say, hey, you want to try out my product, make a video on it, and I don't like, if it just looks like garbage, I'll just say no. Like,
Okay.
but there are some products where I'm like, I see the company, and I'll just like comment on their stuff and like, like it, and then eventually they'll reach out and be like, hey, can we send you some stuff? So
That's cool,
um
buddy.
yeah, that's the best part. And then yeah, with that YouTube channel too, I think we're almost at 12,000 subscribers, and I think I make like a couple $100 on those videos a month, which is like, not, it's not nothing. It's,
No, like
car payment or whatever. So
that's
just
what do you
keep
call
doing
like
that.
passive income?
Yeah,
At this,
exactly.
not that it was passive to obtain it, but you got to a stage
Mhm.
where you've got that little
Yeah, it
bit coming in.
took a lot of work to get to that point for both of those, for the social media and for the YouTube. And then for my personal training business, I'm just going to continue to learn and grow and try to help as many people as I can. And yeah, I'm just in the process of just, I'm really big on like mentorship and, hiring mentors to help you. Like I had a YouTube mentor help me grow that. And I'll kind of jump back when I started online coaching, like when I decided, okay, I want to help moms, I found this company called PT Domination. That's what they do. They mentor online trainers and show them, systems and how to actually run a successful business. Cause I had no idea what to do. Like I know what to do fitness wise. Like I know how to workouts and how to help people, but I didn't know how to turn that into a business. So being in that group, they helped me, run the business and the systems and everything, how to run a successful business. And I'm just kind of in the next stage of that. Like I kind of graduated like the beginner stage. I'm on like the next, mentorship stage where I kind of learn more systems, just to kind of scale the business even more
Yeah.
and reach more people and eventually, turn my business into, instead of being just me, it'd be like a kind of a team. And just kind of continue to grow that and just kind of see where that can take me. Because being in this like program, you know, you you're with people who are like, they're at an insane level. Like the ceiling is like so high for what's possible with fitness, because everybody wants help, everybody needs help.
It's a
So
huge
it's,
industry, like for the reasons we were
yeah,
saying earlier. Like people are always looking for something that's going to work for them or click for them. And
yeah.
unfortunately, so many things are sold. It's like, just do this and it's going to be
Well,
easy. I think,
yeah,
but
it's like the
we're
quick
just
quick
fooling
like
ourselves
10.
with that mentality. Everybody
Yeah,
knows that it takes work and it takes discipline. So,
yeah.
you know,
It takes work, discipline, and consistency, and that's usually what people can't do. They'll do the work for a couple of weeks, but then they won't stay consistent or disciplined for it any longer than that. And
yeah,
then then they stop, and that's kind of what people need, is that you know discipline, and like I said, the accountability is what keeps them going. Because when they want to quit, I'm just like, nah, you're not done. And then they get past that initial hump where they would normally quit, and then they get past and like, okay, now I'm starting to feel good, starting to see results. And it's more than just like weight loss. Like people initially get into it because they want to lose 10-20 pounds, but once you start actually exercising and eating right, drinking the right amount of water, you just feel like a totally different person. You like more energy, you sleep better. Like there's just so many more benefits that come with it,
mhm,
other than you just look better with your shirt off.
yeah.
That becomes
That's where we
that
all
becomes
get
a
caught up. That's
yeah,
the
that
main
that
reason,
becomes
but
a
that should just be
byproduct.
kind of the icing on the cake.
Hmm. Yeah,
You're
and like I
right.
said,
Like,
that's why people initially get into it, is for that reason. But then it just becomes the bonus after, because they feel so good. And
yeah,
if you
like
ask anybody,
I'm still playing sports. I still play soccer a couple times a
eh,
week.
yeah,
Like I
so you're
feel
still
so much
active.
better when I'm at the gym.
Yeah,
Like it just the quality of your performance, your energy is so much better. Like I know in my head I gotta get back on track with that. And I do think that's in the near future for me. This is step one, I guess.
for
So
sure.
we'll go from there. But
Yeah, I think a lot of people too is like, they think like it's such a big thing. Like they have to work out 5 to 6 days a week, they have to only eat this, and but it's really not that hard. If you work out 3 to 5 days a week and eat, like I said, 80% healthy nutritious foods and 20% whatever you want, and drink lots of water, you're going to see results.
yeah,
Like you don't have to work out for hours in the gym every single day. Like most of my clients are working out at home for 30 minutes a day, for 3 to 5 days a week, and that's it. And they're losing up to 30 to 40 pounds.
Yeah, I've seen your results. I see the, the before and after pics that you're posting.
Yeah.
It's
And
impressive.
that's in 30
That
minutes a
must
day.
feel
You just have to
very,
have,
that must feel very, very good for you. Like what I'm
oh yeah,
doing,
like
working for these
that's
people.
that's why I do what I do, right? Is just like, seeing the results that they get is just not just about, them losing weight. It's their whole lives change, their whole mindset changes. They feel so much better. Like I had one client who has lost um, almost 40 pounds herself. And just by the habits that she's changed in her life with her family, her husband's lost 50 pounds.
Yeah,
And
like
so, and
that's
just from changing your overall family healthy habits and making those changes in your lifestyle,
and being a
like
good
it's not
example.
being a good example. Like
You
you
never
don't
know
need
who you're
to,
going to inspire with it. That's the
exactly. You don't,
wonderful. Those are the all the like I guess like the offsets, or I don't know what word I'm searching for the word, but like that's that's wonderful.
mhm.
Like you have your direct circle of your clients, but now there's probably more stories that you don't even know about that they're
Well, yeah, like the impact goes like farther than just who you're directly impacting. Like, you know, even for this podcast, for example, if somebody listens to it and that changes, their mindset on one thing, that's going to, help their family, which is going to, trickle down to where you're changing like more lives than just the person you're directly impacting. You
yeah.
know, if you change, like for me, if I like for that client, for example, like she's lost weight, her husband's lost weight, now her kids are seeing her parents, healthy and happy and exercising together. Now they're gonna, feed off that as well, and then maybe affect their family in the long run once they see that, health is important.
Yeah.
It's not just about, looking good, it's about how you feel and your mindset and everything.
And also as a parent, you're going to be there longer for your kids.
100%. Like I said, like that's why I do this, is because, if my mom had somebody like me step into her life, when I was a kid, then she'd still be here today. So
Yeah.
that's
I'm sure
that's
she
kind of
would
what.
like it might sound a little cheesy, but your mother would be very, very proud of what you're doing. And
Yeah,
I,
I know she was my biggest fan in everything that I did. I know she'd be proud,
yeah,
and and yeah, she's like I said, if she would have had someone like me step into her life, she'd still be here. And that's kind of what I keep. That's what drives me to wake up. Like I wake up at 3:45, 4 in the morning every single day, and that's what drives me to do that. You know,
yeah.
because if
Good for
I'm
you,
sleeping
brother.
it, yeah. Thank you.
Good for you. Well, listen, I don't want to keep you any longer. I do want to thank you again for doing this with me.
No worries.
I picked
Thanks for having
the
me, man.
perfect first guest, Doug, and I maybe down the road we'll do this again when
And
when I'm
honestly,
better at it and have a better camera.
yeah, it's all good. Anytime, honestly, anytime you want me to hop on whatever you're talking about, if you're looking for a guest, let me know. Um,
Awesome.
like I said, I respect you for doing this, because a lot of people, have an idea of starting a podcast, but nobody ever actually takes action and actually does it. So, like I'm proud of you for doing that, and you should be proud of yourself. Because it's not easy, and I know how uncomfortable it is for you to get to this point. After this show, I know you're gonna like be glad that you did it, and hopefully that just drives you to keep doing it.
I already am, man. This was fun.
Good,
I really appreciate
good.
it, Doug. So thank you very much.
No
I'll let you
worries.
know when I post this. I gotta give it a listen first and see if I need to edit out any of the awkward silences. But this was very fun.
Cool. Yeah, me
Thanks,
too. I
brother.
loved it.
Okay,
Thank
buddy.
you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good, buddy.
Later, Doug.
See ya.